What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Canon 15 to 35 millimeter 2.8 IS lens, and I got this lens as an upgrade to my EF 16 to 35 f4 IS lens, and I went with the f4 over the 2.8 because the fact that it had the IS built in and it allowed me to get the most smooth footage and sacrifice that creamy background. So let's jump into my thoughts. Ooh, it is super bright out here today, but I personally love the coating on this lens. It just feels super premium, even though it's plastic, and it has like a matte black finish to it. Unlike the 16 to 35, it had more of a shiny coating to it, if that makes sense. I definitely will say that this is a big, heavy lens. It's nothing that I'm not used to because I come from using the 16 to 35 and the 24 to 70 on like a 5D Mark IV all the time. So it's not super heavy for me, but for someone who's coming from a smaller setup, this is a heavy lens. In my personal opinion, this is the best wide angle lens from Canon that you can buy. It comes with 2.8 and it also comes with IS. And coming in at 15 millimeters, you can get super wide like I am right now and get all of this in the frame. Either you had to sacrifice the 2.8 for, say, IS. So it was either f4 IS or f2.8 but no IS at 16 or 17 to 35 or 40 millimeters, which this lens goes 15, which is 1 millimeter wider. And that to me is absolutely mind-blowing. This is the premiumest, super sharp lens that you can buy that's wide angle. You don't need any type of GorillaPod or tripod to hold up the camera super far away from your face anymore. You can even hold the lens or even put a tripod on and don't hold your arm out at full length. You can actually hold it out like with your arm slightly bent, and in my opinion, that's the best ideal way to do things, especially because it is a heavy setup. This lens also has a control ring, which is honestly amazing. I have the control ring set to ISO. It allows me to change the ISO just by twisting it super fast, super easy, getting straight to the point. This lens is actually super sharp. It's a lot sharper than my 16 to 35 f4. I've actually had to turn down the sharpening in camera to not look so digitally enhanced, which is actually mind-blowing. Like, this lens is super crisp. Since this lens is native to the RF mount, that you don't have to adapt any lenses, and to me that's just one less thing to worry about, especially when traveling and trying to just get straight to the point and travel a lot lighter, because you could have all the lenses in the world, but if you don't bring the adapter, then it's honestly pointless and you can't take any photos or videos. This lens also has an 82 millimeter filter thread, so if you want to screw on any NDs or UV filters or anything along those lines, like I have a ND on right now, as you can see me changing the brightness, that it's massive. A lot of the Canon EF glass, like my 16 to 35, only had a 77 millimeter filter thread. So take this into consideration, especially if you are planning to use, your variable NDs, your polarizers, because you're gonna have to buy new ones. If you only have a maximum of 77 millimeters as the filter thread, then you're gonna be spending a lot more money because the fact of you having to buy a whole new set of filters. This lens is extremely expensive, coming in at $2,300 US or $3,000 Canadian, and this is by far the most expensive lens that I've purchased. It's absolutely mind-blowing. The way you could justify it is because you're gonna have this lens for the next 10-15 years potentially, and it's absolutely like crazy sharp. You're gonna get maximum detail. I wish it was a little bit cheaper though. All right, so who is this lens for? This lens, honestly, in my opinion, is for any landscape photographers, wedding shooters, or anything along those lines. If you need the absolute best wide angle lens that you possibly can get, as well as a whole bunch of YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers love this lens just because it's super wide, lets you have the IS, it's native to the Canon R beautiful camera, gives you the best of both worlds. The 2.8 IS, 15 millimeters, it's absolutely amazing, especially for like you wedding shooters, landscapes, anybody like that. That's all for this video. I do have a comparison video coming up with the 15 to 35 and the 16 to 35 f4 lens. So if you do want to stay tuned and check out that video. That's all for this video. If you did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help. And until the next video, peace.